Is narcissist spying on you? Have you ever had that nagging feeling that your toxic ex is somehow keeping tabs on you? Like a creepy little gremlin peeking over your shoulder whenever you least expect it? If so, you might be onto something. Narcissists have this twisted obsession with monitoring and controlling their victims even after the relationship ends. In this video, we'll explore the slimy world of narcissistic surveillance. We'll expose their devious tactics, dissect their disturbing motivations, and arm you with strategies to shake off these parasitic pests once and for all. Knowledge is power, and the more you understand their mind games, the easier it becomes to cut those toxic tendrils. Instead, if they are spying on you and suspecting that you are probably cheating, but the truth is you never even considered spying on them because it never occurred to you that they might be cheating on you. After watching this video, just glance at the 11 signs in my previous video and you might be shocked. The video title is Narcissism and Infidelity. Signs the narcissist is cheating on you. Clear cues, red flags. The link is in the description below. So settle in, grab some popcorn, and let's unmask these devious snoops. It's just a fair warning though. Things are about to get ugly. But hey, that's the price we pay to regain our freedom and sanity, right? If you are ready to reclaim your life, then watch this video till end by connecting dots with your experiences. If you want to stop feeling like a bug under a microscope and learn the twisted psychology behind why these narcissistic creeps feel the need to keep watching you, then smash that subscribe button. This is invaluable intel. The Puppet Master's Playbook. First off, let's just rip the band-aid off. Yes, it's highly like your narcissistic ex is spying on you in some shape or form. These control freaks live and breathe through having power over others. Even after discarding you like a used tissue, they can't stand the thought of you living freely without their omnipresent shadow looming. Think of a narcissist like a demented puppet master. As long as they can keep tugging on those strings and jerking your movements, they get their sick little fix, letting you roam around unmonitored with that newfound sparkle in your eyes. Not a chance, puppet. That would mean surrendering total control. So what are some of the slimy spying techniques? Well, these jokers leave no stone unturned. Technological stalking through keyloggers, hidden cams, GPS tracking, and hacking. Recruiting flying monkeys to stalk you in person and report back. Bizarre tactics like ransacking your belongings for clues or showing up unannounced. Social media monitoring to keep a hawk eye on your posts, activity, and connections. Creepy drive-bys to your home, work, hangout spots, you name it. Look, nobody's saying you have to constantly peer over your shoulder waiting for these unhinged lunatics to make their next move. But it definitely pays to stay vigilant and protect yourself. More on that later. The Sinister Psychology. So what exactly fuels this insatiable appetite for surveillance? Like most things with narcissists, it boils down to a narcissistic mix of envy, control, and self-soothing their fragile egos. Deep down, these stale bread loaves know that you are living a far richer, freer life without their toxic sludge weighing you down. And boy, does that realization sting. Seeing you thrive and shine bright again is like rubbing salt in their gaping ego wounds. By spying, they get to wallow in their cesspool of envy while simultaneously deluding themselves into believing they still have some sad semblance of power and control over your decisions and happenings. It's their way of injecting themselves back into your life, even if it's lurking in the shadows. How hilariously pathetic is that? Their entire world is a fragile house of cards, perched on this warped idea that they are the supreme puppet master, pulling everyone's string. The second you stop dancing to their tune, that flimsy facade comes crumbling down, lurking in the shadows. Now let's talk about some of the creepy lurking shenanigans. This is where things start getting really twisted and unsettling. Imagine waking up one morning with this gnawing suspicion that someone's been riffling through your personal belongings. Maybe socks are mysteriously askew. Drawers aren't quite closed all the way. Papers look even so slightly disturbed. For most people, this would set off deafening alarm bells, but for victims of narcissistic abuse, it's just often just another day of paranoia city. These snoops have no qualms about blatantly invading your privacy and personal spaces to try digging up some precious morsel about your life. Maybe you work a job that sometimes requires travel for conferences or business trips. For a normal partner, this is barely a blip on the radar. But for narcissists, oh, you would better believe they are going full on secret agent trying to bug your hotel rooms and computer devices to keep round the clock surveillance while you're away. It's both disturbing and pathetic at the same time. These cloaked and dagger antics make them feel like savvy international spies staring in their own little psychological thriller. When in reality, they are just sad, powerless little genomes desperately trying to regain some sense of control and importance. Cars are also common targets. Have you ever gotten that pricky feeling driving down the road that someone might be tailing you? Then out of the corner of your eye, you catch a glimpse of that disgustingly familiar vehicle trying and failing to maintain a subtle distance. Yeah, it's probably a narcissist playing make-believe private investigator game. The motive here are plain as day. They are still drunk on this twisted idea that you are their personal possession to be monitored and controlled at all times. By keeping constant surveillance, it allows them to maintain this sick delusion that they still have chokehold over your life trajectory. It's honestly laughable when you take a step back and see it for what it is. The narcissist flailing around like a beached fish out of water, desperately gasping for any scrap of air and control. A void that can never be filled. At the heart of all this spying madness lurks one of the narcissist's biggest insecurities, good old abandonment panic. These fractured individuals are utterly terrified at the thought of any power source slipping away from their greedy clutches. That's why the discard phase is often a jarring shock for many survivors. One day you are their idealized soulmate, the next you are violently thrust into the depths of their raging devaluation and abandonment. This sudden crushing loneliness and lack of fuel sources quite literally sends them into psychological meltdown mode. Like a smacked out street junkie, they'll do anything to get their latest narcissistic supply fix, even if it means indulging in these creepy surveillance antics. By keeping you under that microscope and staying enmeshed in your daily going-ons, it temporarily snatches that psychological edge. The narcissist gets to delude themselves into believing you still revolve around their orbit to supply those inflated egos. Do you see the vicious cycle here? The narcissist spies to avoid feelings of abandonment and diminished power, but in reality, those very surveillance tactics further drive you away, perpetuating that cycle of panic, grasping for control, and spiraling codependency. It's like an addict who keeps chasing that elusive high. But with each hit, the disease warps the intensities. Except in this case, you are unwitting supplier, and the drug they are jonesing for is your precious energy and life force. Is your narcissist spying? Feeling a bit unsettled and violated after seeing the depths of their monitoring obsession? Yeah, join the club. This stuff runs deep and leaves scars. Luckily, there are telltale signs to look for if you suspect your narcissist is spying. Patterns of them showing up in places they shouldn't know about. Friends, relative mentioning they got strange calls or messages asking about you. Your belongings seem tampered with, items out of place, finances don't quite add up, maybe money, valuables going missing, bizarre lag or quirks with devices, nasty malware, anyone? Your vehicle mileage racks up faster than your typical driving habits. Honestly, that weird gut instinct you have been shrugging off is probably the biggest red flag of all. Us survivors have a sixth sense when it comes to these slippery snakes and their mind games. If it feels off, there's likely fire burning beneath that smoke. The best advice is to be hyper vigilant with protecting personal info, securing devices, locking down accounts, virtual self-defense mode. Don't let on that you are onto them though. These malnourished egos can't stand being. Ultimately, remember that you hold the power to break free from their suffocating grip. By educating yourself about their spying tactics and recognizing the sinister psychology driving their behavior, you are already a step ahead. If you're feeling exhausted from constantly being spied on and monitored by the narcissist in your life, know that you are not alone. The fact that you are recognizing these unusual signs and behaviors means you are becoming more aware of what's right and taking steps to protect yourself. For more valuable content on dealing with narcissists and toxic relationships, make sure to join our community by liking this video and subscribing to this channel. You can also check out my other video titled Don't Ignore These Signs of Toxic Relationships. 10 flags and 4 ways to cut out toxic people. The link is in the description below. Together, we can support each other in breaking free from the narcissist manipulation and reclaiming our lives. Join us on this journey to healing and empowerment. Stay strong, stay vigilant, and above all, stay true to yourself. You deserve a life free from the shadow of narcissistic puppet master. Keep shining bright and don't let their twisted games dim your light. I believe in you.